You know, there's one thing that seems to elude golfers the most, that they're seeking the most, and that is compression of the ball. So we know that compression is going to lead to all kinds of good things. In order to get it, we know we've got to have a forward-leaning handle. We know we're going to have the divot in front of the ball. We know we're going to strike the sweet spot, get lots of smash factor, and hit our irons further and with the right amount of backspin as well. So hey, right after this, I'm going to give you a really simple tip on how you can almost instantly start picking up more compression at the moment of impact, really without even changing your swing. This is so simple, you can do this. See you right after this. Hey, this is Steve with HitItLonger.com. Join me in my journey to hit the ball longer and straighter, not only off the tee, but all the way through to the green, because that's what makes golf more fun. For me anyway. If you agree and you'd like to have a little more fun with your game this year, hit the ball a little farther and straighter, then by all means join us. Hit the subscribe button, like this video at the end if you got some benefit, and leave a comment down below. All right, so I know in the intro I promised a lot. Increase compression of the golf ball consistently without changing your swing. Yeah, I think you can do it, and this is how. See, most golfers at setup, they just don't set up the right way that will lead themselves into consistently getting the compression that they're looking for. The clean divots, the forward shaft lean, the right trajectory, all the good stuff that we think comes from compression. I've got three clubs here. I've got a 3-iron or long iron, a 7-iron, and I've got a pitching wedge. Now the problem that most golfers have when they address the ball is they do not line up with the correct amount of lead, which is forward lean at address. You think you're just going to magically make it happen sometime during the downswing. And unfortunately, each of these different clubs has a different appropriate lead that it needs to have at the moment of impact in order to get all the great benefits. A 3-iron, for example, has about 1 inch of lead. And what I mean by lead is how much forward lean it needs to have in order for the leading edge of the club to be in contact with the turf. So right about there, that's about 1 inch. So when I line a 3-iron up, I'm going to have it leaning forward at address about 1 inch, just like that. Now, dropping to the 7-iron, a 7-iron has about 3 inches of lead. That's built into the manufacturer spec of the golf club. So if you saw this put into a lie loft machine, it would kind of go in at a funny angle, and that's how much lead you would have. So 7-iron's about 3 inches, which means I need to make the handle of the stick be about 3 inches ahead of the leading edge. So the front of the golf ball would be about 2 inches, and then I'm going to go 1 more inch on top of that. So 3 inches. Let's try a setup with a 7-iron. And it's about 3 inches in front. Not that perceptible from your angle, but just slightly. So just like that. Okay, and then we'll go to a pitching wedge. Now, a pitching wedge is about 4.5 inches of lead. Oops, that's the 3. Grab the wedge instead. That was a funny looking pitching wedge. Okay, so 4.5 inches would be about more like 2.5 golf balls ahead. So right there is where the leading edge of my pitching wedge would be touching the turf, so it can scrape the proper divot, just like that. So now that I've set it 4.5 inches in front, like this, it becomes a heck of a lot easier simply to return to where I started from, as opposed to not having any lead at the moment at address, like this, where the club is straight up and down above its leading edge. You see, I will have to find a different amount of forward lean somewhere in my downswing. So all of a sudden, if I'm hitting a pitching wedge or a 9-iron, I have to get it here. So how are you going to make that adjustment? You'd have to move your hands differently on every single swing. But if you can simply just set it where it belongs, where it's going to be at impact anyway, which is about here. Again, that's about 4.5 inches in front. And I really compressed the crap out of that one. That felt great. Nice clean divot, forward lean at the moment of the strike, proper height, proper distance, proper spin, and I can score with a shot like that. So of course I haven't shown you the other wedges, sand wedge, lob wedge. Those are gonna probably cap out at about 5 inches in front, just like that. So just a little more than a pitching wedge. So it's interesting that it kind of works out as each club gets a half an inch longer as you go throughout your set. The lead will be reduced by about a half an inch. So about a half an inch difference in lead per club. And when you're able to preset the proper lead, it makes it very simple just to simply return back to impact with that same lead. You still have to make a good golf swing to do it, but this just makes it just a little bit easier to get that club at impact forward leaning like you'd like it to be for that good compression and clean strike. All right, I'm going to go back to working on the correct forward lead here, but thanks so much for watching my channel. I hope you'll go visit my website, hititlonger.com, and of course, if you're looking for live one-on-one instruction, by all means, check out the contact info in the description below. I'm Steve, and thanks so much for watching. Either I'll see you in the next video, or I'll see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.